Part 1. This story is from back when I worked as a fortune teller and served as the deputy manager at a fortune-telling stand. It was undoubtedly just before one of our major family holidays, similar in spirit to Thanksgiving. A group of regular patrons at a local bar got together and proposed a dare to test or nerve by venturing to a notorious, supposedly haunted site known as the Beast's Resting Place. Since this was before cell phones were common, we made thorough preparations for any emergency and set off at 9 p.m. on a holiday night. In the first car, Mr. A was driving with one male passenger in the front and two female passengers in the back. In a second car, the bartender was behind the wheel. I rode in the front seat and two more women filled the back. Since it was so late, the winding mountain road was completely deserted, and we smoothly headed toward our destination, the infamous Memorial Stone, a local monument said to be haunted. The moon was bright, and the scenery along the way was picturesque. As we neared the middle of the mountain, however, the bartender began eyeing me with a strange look. He muttered under his breath, "Isn't the car in front going too fast? They don't need to speed like that." We'd all agreed to drive safely, and Mr. A, known for his gentle nature, wasn't the sort to recklessly speed with passengers aboard. Yet, in what felt like an instant, the first car shot off like lightning, disappearing completely. Even its tail lights vanished. I figured it might have been due to the twisting curves of the road, but not once did the first car reappear before we reached the summit. The mountain road to the top is a single, uninterrupted path with nowhere to pull over, and yet the car following behind us arrived first. Everyone was bewildered, and only much later did the first car finally show up. Its passengers were visibly shaken. Flustered, Mr. A approached us, exclaiming, "We were together just a moment ago. When did you overtake us?" He insisted that throughout the ride, he'd seen our car trailing behind and maintained that he'd driven safely. After all, he's a man you can trust, and he even had a woman he liked riding with him. There was simply no reason for him to lie about driving dangerously. The bartender and I exchanged knowing glances and half-jokingly said things like, "That must have startled you," and "Were you hexed by a trickster spirit?" A nod to old legends of mischievous beings. We then drove the group to our destination, the eerie Memorial Stone, and took some commemorative photos.